Hey guys, in this video, I'm going to be breaking down the top two at the 2005 Mr. Olympia. I'll be taking a look at Ronnie Coleman and Jay Cutler's top two battle to see just how close it really was. Before the video starts, please consider liking and subscribing as it helps support my channel. With that all being said, let's get into this video. The front relaxed shows the aesthetic advantage that Jay Cutler always had over Ronnie. He flows really well in it, having a flat, controlled midsection and great quads. Ronnie does have incredible size and a good midsection and impressive width. Both men do look great, so it's really hard to say who has the advantage going into the mandatory poses. The front double shows the incredible arm development that both men have. Ronnie's arms are superior though, as he has better biceps and triceps size and definition. Jay does have enormous arms as well, however, the asymmetry between the left and right biceps throws off the pose. Both have incredible lat flare and V tapers, having exceptional width through the clavicle and controlled midsections too. Jay would win in the midsection though, as his looks more aesthetic, however, the quads are debatable. This second picture confirms what I was saying earlier. Ronnie wins in the arms while Jay wins the midsection, however, the legs are still disputable. Jay's legs look more polished, having cleaner lines and visible striations, while Ronnie's sheer mass and great separation really shine. I would probably have to give Ronnie the advantage here though, as his quads look much longer, which in turn makes them appear larger, and his sheer size is truly impressive. So, as much as I like Jay's aesthetic midsection, his arm asymmetry really throws it off, especially when standing next to Ronnie. So, I would definitely give Ronnie a slight advantage in this pose. The front lat spread shows once again the width that both men have in the clavicle. Ronnie looks really good, showing striations in the chest and shoulders, dry condition in the arms, good lats, and a tight midsection. The same can be said for Jay, as he too presents great condition in the upper half. However, his chest doesn't appear to be as dry. This picture shows the conditioning disparity in the chest for both men. Ronnie clearly beats Jay in the upper body condition, however, Jay fills out the pose more in the lats. The quads are close as Ronnie presents sheer mass and Jay looks super polished. However, I will once again give Ronnie the slight edge in condition. The mass he presented is too overwhelming in my opinion, however, Jay does flow much better than Ronnie. Overall, while Ronnie does have a lot of lean muscle, Jay's aesthetics, width, and mass, coupled with his perfect execution of the shot, gives him an edge in this pose. Whenever I get to the side chest pose between Ronnie and Jay, it always baffles me due to the crazy thickness that Ronnie always had from the side. His chest and arms look massive and conditioned, his side leg shows deep cuts and size, and his midsection looks pretty good. Jay always looked pretty decent next to Ronnie in the side chest, however, he never had as much densely packed muscle from the side. This clear image shows the true details of their physiques. Ronnie shows huge mass and size, and now you can clearly see the true side leg and arm condition, not to mention the chest and shoulder striations. Now, Jay looks really good too, having cleaner lines than Ronnie, however, he clearly is not as conditioned. His arm and chest look soft in comparison to Ronnie, and his side leg shows little separation. I'd easily give this pose to Ronnie, as his dense muscularity and ripped condition is enough to convincingly win him this pose. The rear double is an interesting pose, as I feel that Jay really started to close the gap between Ronnie and him from behind this year. Both presented huge ripped backs, however, I'd still say that Ronnie has the edge in the upper half. His arms are massive, with better bicep peaks than Jay, and his back looks a lot thicker through the lower parts. Jay really is battling in the traps and the lats as well, showing tremendous thickness and condition, but he clearly loses in the lower back area. This picture shows the lower back differences between them, and you can clearly see that Jay has some wrinkles in that area. Ronnie's looks really crisp, however, I would be lying if I said it was an easy victory for Ronnie in the upper half. Now, it is an easy win for him in the lower half, though, as he looks twice as dry as Jay in the glutes and hamstrings, and twice as developed too. His lower body looks as good as ever, and he clearly wins there. Jay does have some incredible hamstrings, however, his glutes appear kind of watery in comparison. Ronnie would win this shot, however, it isn't an easy win from the back itself by any means. The rear lat spread may be a different story from the previous shot, as Ronnie's back shows so much more detail than Jay's. Although this image isn't the clearest, you can very much notice that Ronnie's traps and lower back are very defined, while, Jay's are hardly pronounced. This clear image really shows the discrepancy between the two. Look at Ronnie's Christmas tree region, just how crisp it is, and compared to Jay's, which has those unsightly wrinkles. Now, Jay does have a pretty decent lower half, but when you look at Ronnie's, it's just game over. I will say that Jay presents impressive width and thickness through the lats, practically matching Ronnie in that regard. However, his lack of upper body and lower body condition really throws him off. So I would give this pose handily to Ronnie, as his condition and muscularity are really on point. The side tricep is a decent shot for Ronnie, but an amazing one for Jay. I'd wager to say that this is Jay's best pose, as his midsection is pretty flawless and his arm and chest look incredible. His tricep is miles better than Ronnie's, and he looks super composed in the shot. For what it's worth, Ronnie has a pretty decent midsection, a better chest, and the better, more separated side leg. However, his tricep is super bad. This up close shot reveals just how bad it really was, as Jay's looks twice as large and full as his. So, although Jay doesn't have nearly the same side leg definition as Ronnie, his overall package is just so aesthetic and phenomenal that he easily scores a point here. This ab and thigh is a Jay Cutler pose all the way. His midsection is so much better than Ronnie's, it's not even close. While Ronnie's massive quads may have given him the advantage earlier, now Jay's polished, strided quads are on full display, and they really stand out. This up close image shows you just how impeccable Jay's quads were, as they look better than Ronnie's. Moreover, you can clearly see how deeply separated Jay's abs are and just how aesthetically pleasing they look. For what it's worth, though, Ronnie does have slightly larger lats and quads, however, those advantages aren't nearly enough for him to come close to touching Jay here. The final pose of this comparison, the most muscular, is a pretty strong pose for both guys. But, this still is pretty bad quality though, so let's bring up a better picture. We can now see the conditioning advantage that Ronnie had once again in the chest. He features a lot of striations there, as well as dry, conditioned arms and shoulders. Although Jay isn't as conditioned in the chest or arms, he has incredible delts and possibly better traps. The legs are pretty comparable here, though, as they don't play as huge of a role, nor do either look more impressive than the other. This second image is a bit better for Ronnie, and now you can clearly see the traps may be pretty even between the two. Once again, the conditioning edge goes to Ronnie, however, Jay is undeniably impressive. Overall, though, Ronnie would win by virtue of sheer size and condition, as he looks better than Jay in my opinion. Alright, so that about does it for this comparison. And to summarize, I had Ronnie winning 5-3. Shots like the front double and the most muscular could have been debatable, however, I think Ronnie convincingly won the back shots. Overall, this was certainly not a slam dunk victory for Ronnie, as Jay was really chasing him down. However, I do believe that this version of him was a pretty great one. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Thanks for watching.